Some of what I'm going to tell you in the next 30 seconds is true, and it's not going to matter. I have magic. I picked up some of this magic when I went to work for Walt Disney World right out of high school. So there I learned about customer service processes, about customers, how to love business processes. It was fantastic for me. I also have sort of a general magic. And that general magic really comes to the forefront when I'm able to sell something. I'm able to sit with people, talk with them, describe a future for them, and they buy this. And they like this because I'm really doing good things for them. I've established a really close relationship. I can do it quickly, and I can get them on board with me. I love describing their future for them. Their companies get better. My company grows. I am thrilled by this. But it doesn't matter. It used to matter, but it doesn't matter now because relationship selling is really fading. I'm going to make a couple assumptions here today that, first of all, you're here because you'd like your company to grow, probably explosively. Secondly, that this particular angle that you would take for this would be to work with larger accounts, maybe significantly larger than your company. A transformational account, an account that will grow your revenue, grow your profits, and it'll also challenge you to perform at a level that you have not performed at before. This account might be 10 to 20 times the size of your average account. This account might account for 3 to 5% of your revenues. So, back to where I got started into this. I spent 10 years with Lennox, 10 years with Honeywell, and then I created my own multi-million-dollar marketing business, AIM Direct Marketing. That was 20 years ago. I've had 40 years of watching markets change, and they have changed all the time. And I'm really proud of the fact that some of those times I introduced that change. I've shoved a little creative destruction into marketplaces. I've enjoyed doing that. Those are the things that make business really come alive. Well, usually you're the recipient of these things more than you are the deliverer of them. So I want to talk to you about your company, because the magic that you have in your company, the magic you have in your ability to sell things, is being beaten down by processes today that are not there to serve you. They are not there to find your magic. There are 4 things that are really working against your magical company. So the magic that used to be in several places in your company now has got to get deeply focused. You're going to have to know more about who you are and what you do than you've ever known. And you'd better be good at it, and you'd better be right about it. Because these 4 things are working against you. First of all is the zombie apocalypse. That is where the middle levels of these big corporations, the bigger companies that you're selling to, have lost their power to decide. The second thing is consensus buying. And consensus buying puts you in a position where you used to be able to talk to one person, now you're talking to a lot of people. The third thing is the partitioning of the sales business. Sales, which used to be integrated. I could go out and process this. I'd find prospect lists. I'd find my way all the way through. I'd sell them. I'd make sure they were getting the goods and services. I'd take care of it. I'd grow the business all the way out. And a fourth trend that really kind of summarizes all of this is that companies are moving from individuals into organizations. This is pretty ironic because people in small and medium businesses are going, it's the power of that individual. It's their ability to make a difference that really is changing things in the world. But that's not the way it's going in these companies. The way it's going in these companies is that they're going to this diffuse base. So AIM Direct Marketing, when I started it 20 years ago, I could have a conversation with an executive. We could agree to things. We could find incredible things that we could do. I was having so much fun because the work that I had done before that, in my corporate life, you work really hard and you'd end up with, at the end of the year, your business would shrink or grow by GNP. Like, I'm not sure I'm doing anything. All of a sudden, we started doing things that were just really moving the needle. I loved doing that. So I'm talking to people that know what they're doing, know what they want to get done. They love their companies. I'm talking with them, working on, we can do fantastic things. We shake hands, we figure out how to get the thing going. And then I noticed over time, they started introducing new people. We were doing deals, yeah, but I need to ask the manufacturing folks about this, and I need to talk to other people about this. I need to see if these guys agree with this. And it just took place over the course of a decade, and you didn't spot it at first, but now it's all filled out to where you're meeting with a room full of people. And if you're going to be selling these major transactional accounts, again, 10 to 20 times your size of your typical account, you're going to run into this. I want to warn you about this because your ability to go in and be magical and create those relationships, which is probably how you got your business where it is not going to work. And it's not that it's failing, it's that it's going away if you really want to grow and you want to grow with a transformational account. So that took me into understanding that the magic that I described to you at the front, that I'm so proud of, that I love to be able to use, I just kind of had to put that mostly away. So what's the magic that's left? The magic is, what do we actually do for our clients? What do we do that makes us special? And to be able to focus on that. So, customers are putting together these buying processes. You're talking to all these people around a table. Finance wants to know, manufacturing wants to know, quality control wants to know, HR wants to know. They all want to know these things. And you are there to serve their needs. And they will run you ragged. So, how does their business process work? How does their buying process work? Well, I need for you to go get pricing. I run and go get pricing. Now I need for you to get prints. Go and get prints. A few days goes by. Now we need for you to get specifications. Okay. Now we need for you to tell us what your expectations are. And I'm running around, I'm getting all this stuff for them. And in that process, I'm lost. I mean, I'm getting what they need. They're getting ostensibly what they need, but they're not really getting what they need. What they really need is what I really do well. That's what they really need. I'm not trying to manipulate a situation where I can slide something by that I don't do well. I'm trying to do what, at my core, I love to do. I love seeing a company change because we're doing things for them that matter, that move the needle. And believe me, if your company's not doing this, you're going to lose. If you don't truly know who you are better than ever, you're going to lose. But that isn't even enough. If these buying processes are going to take you out and put you in an arid situation, you're going to need to develop a selling process. Did I tell you about my magic? A selling process is completely unmagical. I don't want a selling process. A process can't deliver me. It can't deliver what I'm able to do. Selling is an art. Well, if it's an art, well, we know, here, can we agree on this? Art is not a process, right? Art comes from the muses. Art comes from the whims. Art comes from wherever it comes from. It comes in the way that it comes, and all of a sudden, a great painting is produced. Don't bother me with your processes. Listen to Al Baruch from my employer, Disney. Al animated Fantasia. He said, I learned that you can create art as an employee on a schedule. Now, we can discuss whether we're talking fine art or commercial art, but we're going to certainly agree that Disney's art has created great joy for me and for millions of people as we watch these beautiful animations. He has taken something that you cannot put into a process, and he put it into a process, and he's created something remarkable. If you are very worried that you cannot put together a sales process because it's going to gut things, because it's going to take who you are away, let me tell you, it's not true. What's going to take it away is this buyer's process that has you running out to get things all the time and just bring. That is going to take it away. Would I long for the days where I can go out and play a good game of customer golf and buy a nice bottle of wine for a customer and shake hands on the deal and get it done? Yes, I do. I always will. But that's not what's happening now. So adjusting to the new reality is what we are going to need to do. You're going to need a deeply articulated, well-described process that has to match up with the buyer's process. They're going to have their needs. It's going to be subset 7B. How does your middleware work with our middleware and transactional inventory control stuff? You're going to need to do all of that. But you need to carve out a place for you where when you figured out who you really are, how you elevate that. We're going to do that in part by chatting with an executive sponsor. And we're going to take the executive sponsor who would normally be looking from afar, and we're going to engage them at a new level. They are champions for their company. We're going to ask them to only be champions for their company. But, you know, if you haven't noticed, your buying process is kind of difficult. It's just really hard to get in and work with these buying processes. So I'm going to ask you to do some things as an executive sponsor. And they're pretty simple things. I'd like you to elevate things so that things are important. I'd like you to just let people know that it's important. I'm never asking you to commit to me anything in advance. That was a few years ago, and that was fun. I liked it when we used to do that, but we can't do that anymore. I'm going to run into roadblocks once in a while. I'm just going to ask you if you'll push them through, kind of open things up. I'd like you to clarify things. I don't understand your culture sometimes. How things go with this department? What are they up to? All of that's going to be built into the process. And through that, we're going to be able to take what is truly magical about us, and it's not our magical selling skills. It's what we deeply and profoundly love to do, and we're going to push that forward into this arid buying process. That's going to be incredibly good for us. We're not going to get down to where all of our life is drained out of us. So a well-articulated sales process is going to be your friend. Now, all of that looks pretty chaotic. But when you take a process or an approach that has been 90% magical and 10% process, where I was willing, certainly, to get a prospect list or something, and I'm able to dance my way through it, I loved it. But you can, I promise you, shift it around to where you are 90% process and 10% of it is magic. You're going to make much more progress in the market. So there are three things that I want you to do. First of all, you're going to have to be unbelievably focused on selecting your well-aligned clients. If you do this great, sell it to people who want that greatness. We're going to be dealing with fewer accounts, and we're going to be dealing with them better. That should shake you. But that is the result of the buyer's process, is because they're going to be looking for very specific things. So the first thing is you're going to be unbelievably focused on who you choose to do business with, so that when you do what you love to do, they will love what you do. We're not going to start with our weakest foot forward and hoping someday they'll let us do what we do best. It's like we're going to go where we can do our very best. Second thing is we're going to make a system out of how they see us. That magic that's in us, we're not going to let that fall to chance. We're not going to let that fall to some short speech. We're going to build that into our process so that how they see us is accurate. The message about who we are becomes extremely accurate, very well refined. And the third thing is we're going to make a good, tight system of how we work with them, how we mesh with their buying system. Chaos is a name for an order that creates confusion in our minds. That's said by George Santayana, early 20th century. Chaos is a name for order that creates confusion in our mind. When you see it for what it is, this chaotic business environment, this chaotic buying environment with all these people, when you see it for what it is, it will not be so chaotic. It will be very clear to you. And you focus on your best customers with your best magic, you're going to have your best deals coming ever. Thank you.